Hey YouTube, Island Homesteader here. I'm going to do a different kind of video for me. I've never narrated a slideshow before, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know that I could or how. But I found this microphone. It's a USB mic that actually goes for a game that we have for the Wii, and I figured out you could plug it in a computer and how to make it work. And I'll explain why this is a slideshow and not a video here in a minute. But last week, my wife and I took our middle daughter, who's a senior in high school, down to Wilmington to do a school visit on one of the colleges that she's looking at attending next year. And while we were down there, we were looking for stuff to do. We already had the aquarium was on the list, and we were looking for something to just kind of fill a little bit of time on our way to the aquarium, and kind of stumbled upon this thing that I want to share with you, and it's the new Hanover County Extension Service arboretum. It's located at their office right there in Wilmington. It's a free visit. Doesn't cost anything to go see the arboretum. It's only about 7 acres, and they have several different themed gardens in the arboretum. Like I said, we just kind of did it as just kind of a little time filler. I thought it would be maybe something neat to see. I don't think my wife and daughter were near as excited, especially since my daughter didn't even know what an arboretum was. I had to explain it to her before we got there. But I think you'll see by the amount of pictures that she took, and I only used about half of what she took, she actually ended up thinking that it was pretty cool. Like I said, they have several themed areas. My favorite was one I'll show you at the very end. She only took a couple of pictures of it because it wasn't her favorite, but she found some things that she actually thought were neat. And I thought that was pretty cool, just watching her actually have a good time at something like an arboretum. So here we go with some of the pictures. She found this as soon as we walked in, this great big fountain, and she really enjoyed that. And then had to take a picture of every other fountain that they have on the grounds. They have several of them, and she thought each one was really neat. This one she was really impressed by the way they got the water to come up out of the middle of the rocks. But they also have a big pond in the middle of the property, and she thought that was cool, especially the large metal sculpture dragon coming up out of the water. So she had to take a couple pictures of that. But the different areas of the garden, they have a big cactus collection that she shows here. It's actually right beside the vegetable garden, which caught my attention. When we went in, I didn't take my video camera because I didn't think there would be that much to take video of. And then once we got in there and got to walking around, we discovered that we needed to spend more time than what we had. We needed to get down to the aquarium before they closed. And we're planning on going back the next day after her school visit and actually shooting video in the arboretum. But it rained the next day, so I had to just settle for the pictures that my daughter took. But really neat place to go to. Relaxing. It was real quiet. We were there on Monday, the Memorial Day Monday, so schools were out, and it wasn't crowded at all. There was hardly anybody at all in there. Just a few families walking around looking. But just a really neat place to go and walk around and look at the different stuff that they have. They have a pretty big camellia collection and azalea collection. We're getting ready to see some pictures of the rose garden that they have. She thought that was really neat. And this is the 12th of November when these pictures were took. And you can see that the roses were still blooming. Matter of fact, I think every rose they had in the garden was blooming, and they had quite a collection of hybrid teas and floribunda roses. And they may not have been in their prime for blooming, but every one of them had, a couple of blooms at least on them. So that was pretty neat to see in the middle of November. The climate in Wilmington is really nice. It's warmer down there. It's only about 5 hours south of us, but the climate there is much warmer, apparently, than ours, because there's a lot of palm trees in people's yards and stuff. And there's some palm trees here on the island, but people have to winterize them. And they don't appear to do that down there, so they must not get the same kind of frost and stuff. This is the kids' garden that they have. Sundial, and all the structures are painted in really nice bright colors. They also have banana trees, several different clusters of banana trees, and they don't appear to overwinter their banana trees there either, or so they hadn't started working on them yet. So I thought that was kind of interesting, just 5 hours south of us, and they were growing banana trees. Here's the walkway leading in and out of the garden. It just says "Once Upon a Time" put in it with little pieces of glass tile. And then coming up is the area that to me was my second favorite. It's the Japanese garden. And this was a very impressive collection of different Japanese style plants, Japanese style architecture. There was a wooden bridge over the stream here, Japanese maples in their fall color, which was really neat. A Zen garden. I had to explain to my daughter the purpose of a Zen garden and why they rake it the way they do, so that was pretty neat, getting a chance to teach her something. Ceremonial tea house. It's a miniature tea house you can actually go inside of. And then looking out of the back side of the tea house through a sliding door is there's a stream coming down through there that was really pretty. And she had to take several pictures of that. Again, Japanese style decorations and moving water, and they have koi in the pond. She's got some pictures of those. Gigantic koi. You'll see them here in a minute when the pictures come up. Here's the koi here. Some of those things I'll bet were probably 2 feet long and probably weighed 20 or 30 pounds. I'm not sure I've ever seen koi quite that big before, but those things were enormous. And then coming up here in these last couple of pictures is my favorite area of the garden. It was actually a raised bed vegetable garden. That's a panoramic picture she tried taking that didn't work out so well. And unfortunately, she didn't take any more pictures of the garden beds. There's some pak choi that they had growing in them, but they had all kinds of different winter crops growing in the garden beds. And just to be able to see the raised beds and the way that they designed them was pretty neat for me, because I'm looking at redoing mine for next year, and this gave me some really good ideas that hopefully you'll see in my garden next year. So if you're ever in the Wilmington area, make sure you check it out. It's the new Hanover County Extension Service arboretum, free. It's open during normal business hours, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. 45 minutes or an hour, you'll get through the whole thing, and it'll be time well worth.